Hey, welcome to the Man Maker Show. Bradley Wogelma here, coming to you again. Welcome to Season 2. Hope you guys are doing incredible. I am here with two studmos, and I'm excited to get to know them better. I've known Hector for a number of years as Hector Rodriguez. He has an incredible story. Can't wait for him to share with you. And my new friend, Alex Sines, who I've actually got a chance to know a little while back. He's an accomplished 12-string guitarist. If you know anything about that, that's almost impossible to play. He's a genius level, savant level, which is incredible. I'm looking forward to hearing more of that. But, we've been through our times, haven't we? And the whole purpose of this show really is to help men be better men, to get back up when they fall down, when they're winning, to stay humble, to stay hungry, to stay in a place where they don't lose where they came from and the value of helping other people get back up, right? And there's a lot of people that get wealthy, build their castle, and that's it. And I was asked years ago, if you're making so much money, Brad, why are you still working so hard to help people? I'm like, what would you expect me to do? Make $1 million, $10 million, build my castle and give the world a finger? That's what you would expect? Well, I hope you never make any money then. Because if you're going to get wealthy so you can do nothing, I don't want you to be wealthy. Everybody that is blessed enough to make a great windfall of income and profits should have the heart to serve. But I think it comes from probably humble beginnings. If you got it easy, you probably are arrogant. If you got it because you were hungry and you had to go through some brokenness, you think differently top, don't you? Do you mind sharing us a little bit about what it's like growing up?
Yes, definitely. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody. So, growing up was difficult. Back in the day, we did not have the technology we have today. I grew up with cassette players. You guys know what cassette players, I'm pretty sure, right? Cassette players, I think my time was DVDs. That's when I got excited. But growing up was hard. I come from a family that migrated from Mexico. My parents left, their families, their mom and dads, their education. My dad and mom, both went to universities out there, and they left everything for a better life, which was the United States, right? And they migrated down to Walla Walla, and they got low-income jobs, and it was tough. It was tough growing up, and they worked really hard. They put me through Catholic schools, and at the time I didn't know because I was a big troublemaker. The teachers would always call my parents, and here comes my parents after school, just rushing down, and it was very, very tough. We didn't have what the average family had. And my dad and mom always made the best to put food on our table. And, they definitely wanted to recognize us on our birthdays, but we'd always get to see other families in new cars all the time, new clothes, new everything, new trips. And it was always a dream of mine. But at the time, like I said, it was growing up in a tough neighborhood and being around some people that you shouldn't have been, but that's the area you get to live. And, when you're growing up, you really don't have a choice. That's what you basically grow up with, and you think that's the world, and you are basically implanted certain information in your brain that you think at the time is cool, and you have to do certain things to prove yourself, and that's all you know. We don't have the ability to move right away or have the money to move right away. So at the time, that's what we knew. We knew bad stuff, and you grew up around those people, and those were your so-called friends, and you have to go do this and do that, sell this, sell that, and you become part of their family. And that's what you think is the right, and you implement a lot of bad stuff. And then what happens is you start pointing fingers at the world, saying it's their fault, your fault, you don't understand me, I had to do this. And what really changed my life is just being around certain people. I had to make those changes because my parents were really tough on me, and they would always say, who you surround yourself with is who you become. I never got it. I said, well, what do you know about my friends? They might be doing this, but not me.
Right.
They might be smoking, but not me. It's not me. I'm not smoking. Yeah. They're drinking, but I'm not. Yep. And I didn't get it. Yeah. Until I started getting in trouble with the law. And they would tell me. They would tell me exactly what you would say. You have something special, boy. You need to step out of that circle and go somewhere else. And I didn't get it till I started getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the hole, till I finally realized that I had no friends. When things went wrong, no friends.
Right.
When I wanted to go and party or go do things I shouldn't, I had thousands of friends calling me, right? And when I wanted to change my life for the best or wanted help in certain areas, I had no friends. That's when I realized, you know what? Something's wrong here. So I started asking for help. I started asking for help. I started reading when I hated reading. I started things I hated. And slowly but surely, life started changing.
What age do you think that was when you started making that adjustment?
That was about 22 years old.
22.
Yeah, 22 years old.
So between 13 and 22, you were a knucklehead.
You got it spot on right there.
Wow.
Spot on. I was getting pulled over for suspended license. I mean, the police officers at the time, they did not respect me. Now they're very great friends of mine and they get to tell me stories, but they would arrest me. I was getting in trouble a lot. The teachers, I mean, if it wasn't for Mrs. Chase, which was she was like a teacher, but she was my tutor, I would not have graduated. I was flunking every class. And I was going through private schools. I was at the bottom of the bottom chain. I was getting in trouble, detention all the time. Trouble was basically the way of getting respected. And I think what you were talking about is, in order for me to put fear in people, that's what gave respect. And I didn't know that was the answer at the time, because that's who you're surrounding yourself to. You get to go to a nice school, but yet you go home and your whole neighborhood is doing things they shouldn't.
Right.
You got shootings around the block.
That's really powerful. And there's a lot of people that have been through that scenario with different variations, right? My childhood was a fair bit different than that, but I gravitated to the troublemakers and the guys that were smoking weed and breaking into cars and buses and finding cool places to smoke out and drink and chase a girl. And my mom knew it, and I wasn't doing that because, I had mental disorders as a child. I was in a lot of therapy and hook wires up to me to see what's wrong with my brain. So I was scared that if I did drugs, I would go into some kind of a seizure, because I had a lot of that growing up. But I was just drawn to these rebels. Yeah. And my mom would say, Bradley, if you keep hanging around them, you're going to act like them. Yeah. And as an adult, I've heard people say, show me your mentor, I'll show you your future.
Yeah.
Right? You become the most powerful force in this world, I believe, is association. And I'm a big believer in God, and I believe if I hang around people that believe in God, I'm going to have a stronger walk in my faith. If I hang around people that are smoking and drinking, I'm going to do the same thing. Yep. To me, Hector, you're a hero to a lot of people that need to know they can change their life, right? Because you will arrive at the sum total of the books you read, the audios you listen to, and the people you associate with. Mm-hmm. But it takes a lot to break that cycle of wanting the approval of this group and say, you know what, I got it. They're my bros, they're my friends, we do life together, we're going to bleed together. And in jail maybe. Yep. How did you do it? How did you make that break?
It wasn't until it's tough, but not a lot of people, I mean, I've been more public about it, but I got to the point where I had warrants. I had nothing. I was kicked out of my house, and finally, the only accessibility I had to myself was drugs. I wanted to get my life over with. I'm like, well, what good am I in this world? I got no friends out of all the friends when I go to party. I got all these warrants. None of my friends want to, help me out. I can't go anywhere. I'm out in the streets. I'll just end my life. Tried ending my life. Didn't happen.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, why am I not dead? At the time, I didn't believe it. I was just angry. Why am I not dead? Yeah. Why can't I die?
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I'll go get a job. Started getting a job. Started turning myself in to the warrants, doing community service. And that's when I wanted to read more. I started slowly but surely changing my mindset. And I realized all these friends that were not so-called friends started kind of getting eliminated, slowly. They stopped, texting me, calling me.
They lost interest.
Exactly. Because I wasn't going out on the weekends.
Yeah.
And just slowly, my mindset started changing. Wow, God wants me here for a reason. And for those that don't believe in God, well, the universe or whatever you believe in, but I'm here. I could not kill myself. And even before that, I went to rehab. I was incarcerated in rehab, internal. And I got to see some very deadly people. These were people that were doing life in prison. So I got to see and learn a lot. So I knew how overdoses worked. So when I tried to overdose, it didn't work. So that scared me. I'm like, why am I still here?
Yeah. Right.
So now I tell people, I'm here so I could show you that I could be, and excuse my language, in the shithole and be somebody.
Yeah.
Might not be what you think as a billionaire, but I was able to be down, and God gave me an opportunity, and He wants to use my story to show you that you could be anybody, black, white, Mexican, and it can happen for you too. but you just got to change your mindset. You got to get away from those people because it is who you are. And if you make that decision, it will. And it's not going to happen overnight. Mm-hmm. It's like a plant. You put the seed and you water it. It's going to grow eventually, but it cannot grow overnight. Yeah. And he would tell me, it's like working out. If you work out, you eat healthy, the results are you getting in shape. Tell me a person that's worked out, ate clean, and the result is fat. Nobody. So if you change your mindset, it will happen, but you have to be persistent. And so it helped me. Through the way, I kept meeting people. And every time, like when I wanted to just think of negative stuff, I'd get a random person. Man, I love your attitude. Well, you got something special. I kept hearing you got something special, and it always gets me. It's like, what? I don't get what's special about me. But random people sometimes get to wake you up. And those are your messengers. Those are like angels of God, like telling you there's something coming for you, my boy. Mm-hmm. And so slowly but surely. And I'm still finding that special in me. Yeah. But I keep telling people, I'm still here. And look where I was. I'm not afraid to say it. If I could have made it, you could make it. Yeah. It doesn't matter the color of your skin because we all go through troubles. Right. The question is, did you learn? And what are you making to do a difference in your life and other people's lives?
Right. So you think these guys or gals that continue down the path of destruction, right? What was the problem with them? Or someone that's still in the path of destruction. They're still drinking too much. They're still drugging too much. They're still gambling too much, right? You broke out through small little steps of reading and counseling and good old-fashioned, straight-up hard work, right? Why don't more people make that choice?
It's simple. Now, it's actually more harder to get out because of social media. But I would say it's simple because it's like writing a meal plan. I could write down a plan, right, as an addict. But to actually commit to it and do it is tough. Because you come back to the habits and you look at your surroundings. Oh, they're doing this. You know what? It's like going to the gym. I go to the gym once and I want the result right away. People want it fast. People want to change their lives fast. It doesn't happen like that. Yeah. But if you write down a plan and you start surrounding yourself by yourself, which is the biggest advice I give to people. If you don't have the right people, you are the right people. Right. But if you have a good plan and the best life-changing plan, and you come and bring it to the same circle, you're not going to make it out. Right. Birds of a flock fly together. Yep. Eagles fly alone. And everybody has the ability to change. Now, as an adult, I always say this. You have the opportunity to make a choice. You cannot make me feel bad for you when I've tried to help you and tell you that you can change your life. Now, if you decide to go and continue to drink when I've given you the tools and resources, I cannot grab you by the hand, because if you cannot change for yourself, then you cannot go against the challenges that the world is going to face against you. And it's very tough. And I think it's very tough nowadays, especially because back then we didn't have accessibility to certain social medias and certain information that I don't think a lot of people should have because it's too powerful. And a lot of people are too weak to handle. And people fall very easily into seeing the highlights, and they want it easy. So what do? They take the easy road. Yeah. And just as we spoken previously, it's the medication that they're putting themselves into. Oh, I'll just smoke weed. I'd relax. You know what? It's okay. I'll go get drunk. I'll go do this. They all have a consequence. And people don't realize we're all limited at time here. Yeah. Because if I was a doctor, and what makes me motivated and make me change more towards being greater and learning more is, if I have a doctor, if you're my doctor and I'm sitting just us two, and you say, you know what, Hector, you're supposed to live a year, but actually your results came in, you have 2 months to live. I'm so sorry, not even medicine, nothing, no God is going to take you. I bet right there in that moment when you told me, I'm going to do everything possible that I could have thought of in 2 months, because why? Now I know my deadline. If we all had in the back of our mindset that we were going to die tomorrow, we'd do everything we could have been in the greater good instead of doing fucked up things. Yeah. But right now we're just so sensitive. Like people are so sensitive, in this area that you can't, like, if I tell them to step it up, now they get offended, right? And we need more aggressiveness. We need to show people that the world is much scarier than you think. And if you cannot deal with certain discipline or certain feedback or ways of changing, it's going to be tough. And I think that's why it's been very tough for a lot of people. I think a
lot of people lose sight, Hector, of that it's a daily battle, right? The greatness wasn't built in a day, but it's built daily. Right? And I think in today's world where we see social media success, which is oftentimes a stage, how great they are, how happy they are, how beautiful they are, how much they have. It's really a stage. They don't even typically own most of that. That we get this mindset that it's supposed to happen fast. And if it doesn't happen fast, that's a universe's way of saying it's not going to work for you.
Right.
I can remember when I got booted out of the house at 18 for stupid reasons, which just my dad and I didn't get along. And so I moved in my first apartment at 18, right? And I had a $400 car. The driver's side door didn't open. I crawled across on the passenger side, had carpeting on the seats I'd stolen, borrowed from a construction site, and put on my car seat to keep the springs from going through. And I was just doing construction, just day labor. And it was hard. Every day was hard. But what I realized is if I can get a mindset that from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, I do everything I can do to advance my life, I'm going to advance. Yep. And that changed my entire world. I have had a chance to attend a lot of AA meetings over the years. And what is one thing I hear consistently? I'll take another 24. And that's not 24 ounces.
Yeah.
That's 24 hours.
Yes.
They want 24 more hours. Like, I'm going to go one day at a time.
One day at a time.
Right? And I'm going to win the day. I'm not going to get too far ahead. I'm sure you're not going to get caught up in the past. I'm going to win the day. Yep. We talk about building bookends, how you start and how you finish. We talk about how you run throughout the day. We have a plan when things don't go well. We have an outlet to call when you're struggling, you're hurting. AA calls it a sponsor. We would call it a mentor. Anybody that's in a dark place, it's going to take some work. But when you're in hell, don't get a motel. Learn that you're transient. You're going to be in tough spots. I've been homeless. I've lived in the woods. I've lived without running water in a bathroom. I've been through that. It wasn't easy, and I hated it. And my kids were embarrassed, and I was embarrassed. But guess what? I knew from the beginning it was temporary. Why? Because the things that I had done to get there, I stopped doing, and I changed my habits, just as you did. From a gangbanger, drug dealing, street running, 15-year-old kid, and I won't put labels on you, but it sounds like that was kind of your thingamajig, if you will, to suddenly 6 years of that going, you know what? It ain't always going to be like this. I got to find a way to make some daily adjustments so that after a number of days, I'm a different man. And I'm really proud of you for getting up over that and finding a way through it.
Oh,
you want to expand on that a little bit more? I mean, I'm thrilled by your story. And now, maybe just for a second, you're successful. Right? You got a beautiful family, you have an amazing wife, you've got several businesses. You just got back from Dubai where you sold some franchise your business. You're traveling the world. You're getting a global perspective. That's a long ways to go, and I don't know how you are now, but let's just say 10 years ago you were a train wreck, and now you're doing quite well. That didn't happen because you were lucky. It happened because of these decisions. So good on you.
Thank you. And it's one of those again that you change your mindset, you change your life and your habits. It all has it's a playbook. If you're getting up and brushing your teeth in the morning every single day, your teeth are gonna be well clean. But if you don't and it becomes a habit, what's gonna happen? Your teeth are gonna rotten. So we have the ability to make a decision on what we want in our life. The moment we put our feet down, and like you mentioned, be grateful for the little things. And even though we're all human, we come with stress, bills. As a man, we have to take on bills, stress, how to protect your family, the house, everything comes into play. So a lot of things comes in our question. And so what's really helped me in the process is being grateful. I am alive. My kids have their arms, their eyes, they're healthy. I have my fingers, I could write. I have my legs, I could walk. My eyes, I could see the beautiful colors. I have the ears, I could hear voices. I'm gonna go kill it. Why? Because I had the ability to go to cancer centers, and you see people in there dying, and they're happy because they're alive. And it gets you like, oh my gosh, I'm over here whining about a bill. I'm over here whining about some drama, but yet there is a beautiful soul.
Puts it into perspective.
Maybe 4 weeks into their life, and they're with an attitude. So attitude gave me strength. My family gave me strength. The fact that my kids see every action I do out there in the field. My wife has been everything. She's the one that everybody should thank. She's been patient. She's been with me. She's been there through my bad decisions. She's given me chances, and it's not perfect. People are like, oh, you're lucky, or you guys don't know. We've gone our challenges. I was not a good boy. I did many mistakes, and she's forgiven me, And she's been through a lot with me, and I think the when people congratulate me, it's because of her. You know,
Right.
They always say you are the man with you're the type of man is based on the woman you're with.
Yeah.
You know, she's very strong in faith, very patient. You know, and she's taught me patience because I had zero patience, and I'm learning, and I'm still continuing to learn.
Oh yeah.
She's very organized. I am working on my organization. Sometimes God puts you in places you don't understand till later. You're kind of like, take a step back, and you said, move slowly. You start realizing, oh my gosh, things are being planted in front of me. You know, thank you.
But we know that a crucial ingredient to love is grace. You can't have love without grace, because love is imperfect. It includes people, and if you don't have a way to find grace, big and small, right, and recognizing even what grace is, right, it's not like it didn't happen. It just means that event no longer controls me, and when I release it, I release you to be the better person that you can be, right? Because I mean, ultimately in our relationships, we want our spouses to be amazing, and our spouses want us to be amazing. That's how we all win. And if we had to hold it over them and lord that failure over them, well, how can they get greater and stronger? We can't. Without grace, there is no love.
Yeah,
bingo.
So, thanks for sharing that, brother. We're going to wrap up this segment. It's been fantastic. Lots more to share. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Man Maker Show. We're going to go a little deeper with part 2. Stand by.